So, if you are even thinking about buying a home in the Colorado Springs market right now, please watch this first. Because the market is slowly making a 180 to where buyers are slowly starting to stack their hands when it comes to purchasing a home. And I really want people to understand that buyers are now in a position to kind of set the rules, and that can lead to thousands of dollars worth of savings. So I'll be covering different loan programs, some negotiation techniques, and then just some helpful tips and tricks in order to help you succeed in today's market. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the market flip. Over the last couple of years, especially during COVID, buyers were in a really tough spot. I'm talking crazy bidding wars. It really wasn't unusual for a buyer to put in an offer in the morning and then just be outbid by like three other families that same evening. Sellers were definitely holding all the cards during this time period because they were receiving offers from people, skipping inspections, offers that were way over the listing price. So they just had a lot to choose from. Fast forward to today, things are really starting to look different. So that same house might sit on the market for 40 plus days, maybe take a price cut here and there. And then in the end, the seller is still going to need to offer concessions. I'm talking covering closing costs, buying down the buyer's interest rate. And here's kind of the reason why this is. Right now in the Colorado Springs market, houses are sitting on the market a little bit longer than usual, especially in comparison to last year. And this is going to give buyers more choices, and sellers are going to have to be forced to price more competitively in order to prevent their house from sitting on the market longer than necessary. So prices overall are holding relatively steady, but we'll see more price drops as inventory continues to build. For buyers, this is one of the best opportunities in years to find the right home and negotiate a better deal. Now, let's talk about a couple of the loan programs that can help you get in while the odds are still in the buyer's favor. First, I really do want to clear up this misconception. There's this thought process of like, I need to have 20% down in order to buy a home. And if we're putting that into perspective right now, the average cost of houses in Colorado Springs is sitting at about $500,000. So you're going to need about $100,000 just to get started. I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of chump change just floating around. The good news though is that you don't actually need 20% down, and in fact, you really don't even need 10% down. I'm going to break down a few of the loan programs that are out there that can help you get into your forever home without completely draining your savings account. All right, so let's talk conventional loans. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually get in with just a 3% down payment as long as you have a credit score that's above 620. So instead of needing some massive down payment, you're really only looking to cover about 3% of the price out of pocket. And here's the best part. If mom, dad, grandma want to give you some money towards your house, that totally counts towards your down payment. For example, I did have a client the other day who was talking to their parents, and they said, okay, you have the opportunity to either use this chunk of money towards your wedding or towards a down payment. They decided to elope, and then they bought their first starter home. Now, let's look at the Federal Housing Assistance Loan, or the FHA loan. With just a 580 credit score, you can buy a house with as little as 3.5% down. To kind of put this into perspective, on a house that cost you $400,000, you're looking at about bringing $14,000 to the table. This is way less than the $80,000 you would have needed if you were trying to hit that 20% rule. And then there's the VA loan. If you're active duty, a veteran, or even a surviving spouse, you can buy a home with as little as 0% down. With this program, you don't even need private mortgage insurance, which is usually required when buyers are putting less than 20% down towards a home. And even the funding fee can be rolled right into the loan, which is even less money you need to bring to the closing table. In my opinion, if you can qualify, it's one of the best benefits out there. The last program I'm going to be covering today is the USDA loan. This covers a lot of the unincorporated communities in and around the Colorado Springs area. You can get into a home in one of these areas with as little as a 0% down payment. However, there is an income cap. So for like a family of 4, you can't make over $110,000 a year. It's a great option if you're looking to buy a home on like the edge of town without needing like a huge down payment. I provided a full list of the zip codes that fall under this program below. That said, even with a winning strategy, timing matters. Watch my next video on negotiation tactics to maximize these savings before the market shifts again.